Hyper-V is a virtualization technology, a type of hypervisor developed by Microsoft. It also allows users to create and run virtual machines on a single physical machine, essentially creating multiple isolated operating systems and software environments. This enables better hardware utilization, increased flexibility, and cost savings. In this lesson, you're going to learn about Client Hyper-V along with its key features and benefits. You will also know the limitations and how Client Hyper-V works. Hyper-V on a client machine, also known as Client Hyper-V, allows users to run virtual machines on their desktop or laptop. This enables the execution of multiple operating systems or testing environments on a single physical machine. To enable Client Hyper-V, users need a 64-bit processor with second-level address translation. Also, they need at least 4 GB of RAM and virtualization support enabled in the BIOS. Here are the key features and benefits of Client Hyper-V. 1. Client Hyper-V allows you to run multiple operating systems and applications simultaneously on a single physical machine. 2. Each virtual machine runs in its own ISO test space, thereby preventing issues from one VM affecting another VM. 3. Client Hyper-V helps to manage resources like CPU, memory, storage, and networking efficiently among VMs. 4. Client Hyper-V offers robust security features like shielded VMs, secure boot, and BitLocker encryption. 5. Client Hyper-V integrates well with other Microsoft products and services. 6. It is designed to handle a wide range of workloads from small personal use to large enterprise deployments. And 7. By consolidating workload and improving hardware utilization, Hyper-V can reduce infrastructure costs. Client Hyper-V does have limitations. Some of the limitations are: 1. Compared to Hyper-V on the server, Client Hyper-V has fewer features such as no support for Hyper-V replica, VM live migration, virtual fiber channel, remote FX, and SRIOV. 2. Client Hyper-V is only available in the 64-bit versions of Windows 8, 8.1, 10, and 11, and this operating system must be Pro or Enterprise Edition. In this demonstration, I will demonstrate to you how you can enable the Hyper-V on Windows 10 Pro. After enabling the Hyper-V, I will now configure the virtual network. The main tasks for these exercises are: 1. I'm going to turn on the Hyper-V features. 2. I will now create private network. Then I will create the internal network. And finally, I will create the external network. So in order to enable the Hyper-V features on the Windows 11 Pro, I will click the Start button and I will look for Programs and Features. This can be located inside the Control panel, and this is it. Yeah, Programs and Features. Now inside the Program and Features, you'll see the list of all the softwares that are installed on your system. Now on this left side, you see some other link, like going back to the home of the control panel, or if you want to view all the install updates. Now the third one is if you want to turn Windows features on or off. This is the one you need. I'll click on it now. So it's going to come up with this dialog box. Now what you are looking for is this Hyper-V. Now I've already enabled the Hyper-V. So all you need to do now is to just check this box and also make sure that these two boxes are also checked. Now, what is the purpose of this one? This is the one to make the Hyper-V platform available. And this is one that will make the Hyper-V management tools available. So you have to make sure that all of them are checked. Also remember that there are also hidden features. So just make sure that all of these are checked. For example, this is the one that will allow you to be able to manage your Hyper-V using the Windows Word PowerShell. So make sure that all of these are checked, and after that you can click the OK button. So what will happen is that your system will restart, and after that you can now be able to access your Hyper-V. Now once you have done that, you can now come back here and type Hyper-V, and this is what you are looking for, Hyper-V Manager. Now we'll click the Hyper-V Manager now. So it's actually loading the Hyper-V Manager. Now this is my Hyper-V Manager. Now on the left side, there are certain things you can do here. On the right side is where you can take certain action. For example, if I want to create a new virtual machine, or I want to set virtual manager or virtual switches manager, all of them are what I can perform on the action side. Now remember, there's a need for me now to create 3 switches: the private switch, the internal switch, and the external switch. So for me to create those switches, I can come to this place and you see the virtual switch manager. That's the same thing that you're seeing here. Now I'll click on it from here. Then you can see the 3 virtual switches: the private, the internal, and external. Now when can you make use of a private switch? Private switch is usable in a situation whereby you want your virtual machines and another virtual machine to be able to communicate. Let's say we have a virtual machine known as domain controller, and you want to create another virtual machine for your SQL server or for your Exchange server or for your SharePoint server. And there's a need for this virtual machine to also communicate with other virtual machine. For that to happen, what you need is the private switch. So how are you going to create the private switch? Just click on this and you click create the switch, and you now name the switch. I can name it this way: private network. I will then click apply. That's it. Now I'll go back to the switch again. You can see the private network now is a what? Is a private virtual switch. What about the internal? When can I make use of the internal switch? Now this is a situation whereby you want any of your virtual machine to communicate with the host. Like I said in the lesson 2, when I was talking about the virtualization technology, and I said we have the host and we have the virtual machine. Now this system now is the host, while the virtual machines that I'm going to start creating in the next video will now serve as what? The clients. So in this instance now, let's say I want that virtual machine to be able to communicate with the host. You might be thinking that, what is this man saying again? Are they not on the host? Now, the way virtual machine is actually structured, they are structured to be isolated from one another. They are also structured to be isolated even from the host itself. For the fact that they are running on a particular host does not mean that they can communicate. In fact, they will not communicate unless you connect the virtual machine through the internal switch. So I'm going to create the switch now, and I will name it internal switch. And I will click apply. And that's it. Now the third one is the external switch. Now, when can I make use of the external switch? This is in a situation whereby I want my virtual machine to communicate with an external network. Let's say, for example, I want to access internet on any of the virtual machine. Let's say while trying to install the Exchange server or the SharePoint server, I want to download the prerequisites for the installation, and I will need internet to do that. So what I will do, by the time we get to that demonstration, you will notice that is that I'm going to now connect the virtual machine to an external switch or the external network. Once I do that, you will not be able to access the internet. Remember, the host is not the owner of the internet. It's also connecting the internet outside. So that is the purpose of the what? Of the external switch. Now let me also tell you something. You see, you can have multiple copies of private network. You can have multiple instances of the internal network. But you see this external, the way it is configured, it is difficult to have more than one copy or more than one instance. So I'm going to click the button now to create the switch, and I will name it external network. Then I will come to the connection type. In the connection type, I have under the external network, there is a wireless AC and there is what? Ethernet connection. Now, if I select this Ethernet connection, it simply means that my internet is being accessed from my host through what? Through an Ethernet cable. But if I'm accessing it through a wireless connection, then I will use this one. Right now, this internet I'm using, you can see TP-Link B906. That's my internet, the wireless internet that I connected to right now. It simply means that if I want to create this external network, this is the one I will use, the wireless AC 8265. If I use this one, by the time I connect this external switch to the virtual machine, it will not work because it is expected that if I'm using this, I have to connect the internet through a cable. So I will leave it here, then I will click apply and look at this notification. It said pending changes may disrupt network connectivity. This computer may lose its network connection while the changes are applied. This may affect any network operations in progress. These changes also may override some static changes. If that happens, you must reapply the static changes to restore network connectivity. You want to continue? Yes. It will start applying the changes now, and after a few seconds, it should be ready. Now it's ready. Now I have the what? The private network, the internal switch, that is the internal network, and what? The external network. In this lesson, you have learned about the client Hyper-V, its benefits, limitations. You have also saw how you can enable and configure the client Hyper-V. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing to this channel. Please, let me know what you think in the comment section. And do not forget to leave a like and share this video. See you in the next one.